Hi, I'm Ted Medetol, and I'm involved in international missions at First Baptist Church. I want to tell you a little bit of story about why international missions are important, both to me as well as to everyone who attends First Baptist Church. And it goes back a number of years, about 12 years ago. Actually, it goes all the way back to 1974. At that time, I took my first international mission trip, but after that, I really wasn't convinced of the value of international missions for a long time, and so I didn't go very often. But then about 12 years ago, I took a trip to Ecuador. And on that trip to Ecuador, we were doing what we do on many of our international medical mission trips. I was seeing patients and I was treating them for a lot of their minor illnesses and aches and pains, treating them for arthritis and parasites and first one thing or another. And a lady came in on the afternoon towards the end of our trip, and she sat down in front of me like many hundreds of more had done during the week that we were there. And I was talking to her through an interpreter. And while I was talking to her, she was telling us what was wrong with her and all the problems that she had and the difficulty she had getting around because of her arthritis. And so I went through my spiel and I gave her some arthritis medicine and I treated her for some parasites and gave her some vitamins, and we talked to her about a few things. And just as I was completing the visit with this lady, she just burst into tears. She started crying uncontrollably. And I thought that I had made a real faux pas, that I had done something to hurt her feelings or that I'd done something that was rude to her. And so I asked my interpreter, who was there talking to her with me, what was wrong. And so he started talking to the lady, and this is what she said. She said, "I've lived in these mountains my entire life. I live in the same house that I was brought up in, and I live there alone now. My husband died many years ago. My children are grown and gone. Now, my children live only an hour or so away from me, and I have neighbors that live just a few minutes away from me. But nobody ever comes to check on me. Nobody ever comes to ask how I'm doing. And now here are people who have come from thousands of miles away, who have taken time off from their own lives, away from their own families, and have come here to do nothing more than to ask me how I am and to try to help me in whatever way that they could." And at that point in time, the value of short-term international missions became galvanized in my heart and in my attitude. We have been involved in mission trips to a